real-time alerts in areas of danger. I remind you that no matter where the threat is launched from, when an alarm sounds, you must enter the shelter and wait here for no less than 10 minutes. We will update in real time.
All right. All right, there we go. I had to get this so that we could actually see everything that we needed to see. Sometimes using the Studio Rumble is a little bit weird, but there we go. There we go. We're all set now. So I just want to make sure we don't have any issues with sound, with at least on YouTube. See what happens when I go to my channel and whether or not I can hear myself. Nope. All right. Now there is a major delay, but I can definitely hear myself, so that is awesome. All right. So if you haven't heard, there is officially being a strike against Israel by Iran. This is so weird. I cannot get this in a way that you actually see me on screen. I don't know how. I don't know if they're doing it that way because I actually have I don't know if it's like this because I actually have my thing shut off right now. That must be the reason that it is. I can't have my thing on right now, but it's just really weird. No matter which of these I go to, you do go to solo. You don't see my thumbnail on there. You don't see anything. That's just so weird. Rumble, yeah, do something about that. That's the way your system works is weird, Rumble. Okay. Anyway, now that I got that out of my system, this is a live look of the Tel Aviv skyline. We should be having the drones that they fired on. We should be having them coming in at like any time. I found this whole thing kind of strange myself from the standpoint of they got a whole heck of a lot of time to prepare for this strike. And then also I was thinking, I mean, that's scary to have all those drones incoming, but I'm pretty sure that the Iron Dome is just gonna be like, hi, and that'll be the end of that. But I could be wrong. I'm gonna pull up some other things here, and we're gonna see what it is that they're all saying. We have Live Now has got some kind of report going on, so let's see what they say. See if I'm allowed to embed it, though. Oh, yes, I am. I'm going to be allowed to embed it. That's a great big help.
Clearer, but the basic answer here is that Iran supports Hamas and Iran supports Hezbollah. let's leave it there for now, Matthew. We appreciate you hopping on in a pinch here. Take care.
So, as I say, they've got these swarms of drones.
Let's slide away. We'll take a real quick commercial break. We're going to keep with this story. There are more details
I'm gonna
coming
have
in. The
to
news wires are feeding us information in real time.
Commercial break. But as as we basically heard, they've got all these drones that are coming out. This live view of the San Francisco Bay. That's pretty. And there's been some indications that yes, they are taking it seriously. They've done some precautions. In certain areas, I believe Israel has said that GPS systems are not going to be working very well because I think it's like I think the enemy could be using those in some way, most likely to find targets. And so obviously you don't want it to be any easier than it already is for them to targets. And so that certainly makes sense. I've just been wondering again that this is not exactly a sneak attack. They've had several hours to prepare for this. So I myself am kind of going, there's this immediate natural fear of what is going to happen and how bad is this going to be. And I'm kind of like, I don't know. Wake me when it's over kind of thing. Because I'm just not really expecting much. But here's what CNN is reporting on news media. I mean, generally we kind of find in these situations that even if it is CNN, whatever, that what they're saying is going on is more or less what's going on. And oftentimes through these various live streams, we find out that, yeah, it's the case. That's how many. Oh, CNN reported 500? What do you know? It's 500, but they've actually reported. Iran has launched more than 100 drones towards Israel, according to an Israeli military official, in retaliation for an Israeli strike on the Iranian consulate in Damascus earlier this month. U.S. air defense in the Middle East has intercepted some Iranian drones already. So some of these have already been taken out. They didn't even reach Israel. Did not even reach Israel. According to U.S. officials, the attack is likely to unfold over a number of hours, according to the U.S. National Security Council. Iran seized a container ship Saturday near the Strait of Hormuz with 25 crew members on board, according to Iranian state media. The vessel was managed by a company linked to Israeli businessmen. This has been an issue that's been going on for a while, ever almost not too long after all of this kicked off, when they attacked in January. They've been having issues in the Strait of Hormuz, so this can't even, that itself, it's hard to even consider that an escalation. It's sadly not something new, and it's just very unfortunate for the crew members and their loved ones. Well, let's see what this so-called expert is saying.
Israel and whatever the subsequent follow-on attacks are, because the U.S. intelligence community seems to believe there'll be follow-on attacks, and this will be a longer versus a shorter wave of attacks. We always have an engagement between Israeli and Hezbollah troops in the north and Lebanon. Mm-hmm. You have the Iranians now seizing an Israeli-related civilian tanker or carrier ship, cargo carrier ship, and moving that, directing that toward Iranian territorial waters. The United States has said we will engage with Iran if Iran attacks using U.S. assets that are in the water surrounding the two states and in the Gulf. And Iran has said that any state that engages in defending Israel in their airspace will be attacked by Iran. So we have a lot of things going on simultaneously, all not good.
You know, this has been something that I've been asking all of our guests, and I think it's an important question because I'm just curious from a war perspective, and I will say that we follow this war very closely here on Live Now. We have been ever since October 7th. I got to ask you, though, how do we connect this situation today with the Israel-Hamas war? Because people might hear, oh, this is Iran. Iran is carrying out this initial drone. We'll call it a drone strike for now. Nothing has been struck, but there has certainly been artillery that has been sent into the sky. Some of it's been intercepted by now. But can you connect the dots for us? Why does this have implications on the Israel-Hamas war?
So I'll walk you back to October, but if I was going to go in depth, I'd take you back to 1948. But I'm going to take you back to October of last year. And that attack by Hamas, a international terrorist organization, not a state organization, but one with state sponsors, one of whom is Iran, attacked Israel. And Israel, under international law, had the complete right to defend itself from that attack. And they engaged to do so. People have lots of questions, including me, about how they're doing that, whether they're inside the box of international law, but that's another story. And Israel has that right to respond, and they have done so. Iran has said, based on some of the things that Israel's done in response, that it would continue to support Hamas and Hezbollah, the people who Israel is engaged with in the north. While this was all going on, the Israelis launched a separate and distinct attack on Iranian IRGC, Iranian Revolutionary Guard officers in Syria. They killed them in what has been universally acclaimed to be an Iranian consulate area building. Consulates, like embassies, are the territory of the state that they belong to. So the Russian embassy in the United States is actually Russian territory. The United States embassy in Russia is American territory. So the essentialness of the Israeli attack was a direct attack on the territory of Iran. Iran now has legally the right to defend itself. Now, how does this attack fit in? Israel says that it was actually doing what is called a preemptive strike. So under international law, you don't have to wait until somebody attacks you. You can go get them first in order not to sustain damage. We learned all of that after 9/11, because after 9/11, we discovered that these non-state actors can inflict damage like a state could. And states shouldn't have to wait to be hit in order to respond. They should be able to take preemptive action. It's called the Bush Doctrine. And under the Bush Doctrine, the Israelis have said, hey, those IRGC guys in Syria were actually a threat to us, and we took preemptive action. Israel now has to support and prove that. The way you do that is you release the intelligence data, which gave you the information. They haven't done that yet. So the world does not know the background for which they took those actions. On the other hand, Iran says, wait a minute, we were attacked in violation of UN Charter Article 2.4, which says war is illegal and you can't attack anybody. You have to leave everybody alone. And oh, by the way, you don't get a break on this, Israel, under another article of the UN Charter, which is Article 51, the self-defense article. So Iranians are saying that they're responding in self-defense, and the Israelis said, well, their initial attack was in preemptive self-defense. You don't have all the answers till you get all the intelligence. We may never get all the intelligence, but the they go back and forth.
I got to ask, what could, and again, underscore the word could, because we don't know what exactly Iran is attacking yet. What could they be targeting, though? What are some
around the areas of Lebanon. So things could come in from that area. Now, it depends also what the thing we're talking about is. Is it a drone? Is it a cruise missile? Is it an intercontinental ballistic missile, which goes up out of the atmosphere and comes back down, which is much harder to target and kill. Cruise missiles fly fairly level to the terrain, low level, and they're easier to kill with the right defensive mechanism. Drones, same thing, but a mass drone attack launched from close in will be harder to take out because that Iron Dome protective thing is for higher up at altitude aerial threats. Lower level, close in aerial threats, Iron Dome is less efficient in taking those out.
So, Rob, a number of our analysts today have kind of floated the idea that maybe Iran is testing the waters to see how Israel and how the West responds to any initial movement. There's been, we've been discussing that idea with our analysts, and you know, they seem to think that this very well could be them testing the waters. Do you feel similarly?
Sure, it could be a test of the waters. Iran is not prepared, nor could it win a full-scale fight with Israel, particularly when Israel has Western backing. But could it disrupt the Middle East to such an extent that it doesn't make a difference whether it wins? It could cause such a disruption that no normal relations can be carried out. That's a bigger problem because that's long term.
So I'm also curious. So we talk so much about Iranian proxies, Hezbollah, Yemen, Hamas is an Iran-backed entity as well. What's the significance of this initial activity not coming from a proxy, but what's the significance of it coming from Iran proper?
It's a step up in engagement. because in the past, Iran has been able to say, well, these are people who are not us. We have relations with them, we have engagement with them, but we don't control them. Actually, there's points in international law about whether or not you're the blame for what the proxy does based on your level of control. The United States versus Nicaragua is the case that we're talking about. But the idea here is Iran is stepping into that void and crossing over a threshold that it hadn't crossed directly before as it relates to Israel, where attacks may be coming directly from the Iranian homeland with Iranian troops pulling the triggers.
So what are the questions that you're hoping to get answers to in the immediate hours here? What are you going to be watching closest?
Well, first I'm going to watch the first thing you discussed, whether or not these things have been intercepted. The second thing you discussed was whether or not U.S. forces were engaged in the defense of Israel. If so, what forces and how? Was it U.S. Missile defense ships in the waters outside of the area? Was it U.S. troops? Because we have troops on the ground in different places in the Middle East, which have the ability to take on airborne threats. Were they engaged to help defend Israel proper? Which, of course, if you believe the Iranians, anybody who helps Israel defend itself in this fight is a target. That would make us a target. Direct target by the Iranians, potentially more than just their surrogates. Third thing is, obviously, this is not sustainable by Iran. They can't do this long-term forever. But what else can they do? And how engaged is Hezbollah going to be on the behest in the north and make this a multi-front fight for Israel? That's a problem for Israel.
I just realized that I've been.
All right, we will leave it there for now, Rob. We appreciate your insight. We are going to take. And you know what, Rob? Actually, I do have one final question for you here, because this is something that's been on my mind as we've been awaiting for any sort of activity here. Let's give the audience some idea of where Iran is geographically in relation to Israel, because they do not share a border, correct?
They do not share a border. However, if you want to think about the United States, think about being on the east coast of the United States and then going west out into like Pennsylvania. And now you're starting to get
I was saying
areas
at one point there
that
while I was muted that we are going to be talking
directly controlled by Iran, but are influenced by
the
Iran.
Hales copyright thing.
If you go into Iraq,
and I'll do something that I normally don't do, which I will
there are many
actually break that out
of Iran
into
in Iraq. If you go directly north of Israel into Lebanon, you find
we're going to follow this for a little while.
If you go south from Israel, you're in Egypt, and as Palestine itself, now we call it Egypt, is actually in North Africa. And all of those guys in Nigeria. So there's a lot of close proximity problematic states that don't have to actually get into Iran to have an.
Looks like we might have seen some that are actually arriving.
Just saw, and the feed just cut out on us. But Rob, and I don't know if you caught that as well, but we were actually just watching some video getting fed back. We're working with our Reuters affiliate. I believe that was a video from Reuters actually showing. It looked like a shooting star to a degree, but obviously what we're probably talking about here was some sort of military activity. We do not know if those were the UAVs or the drones in question. We do not know if that was perhaps some sort of defense mechanism against these drones. It could really be a litany of things, just based off of what we saw, correct?
It could be. Things that go up come down. So they could go up from another place and come down in Israel.
They could changing
come
their view
into Israel.
Israel
could shoot them down, and they could be coming down then in Israel in pieces.
They're looking for something in particular.
It's going to be hard to tell unless you could see the trajectory of the incoming coming into Israel proper, and then responsive Iron Dome, launches to intercept. So you have to see it from both views.
That's what that kind of looked like. That looked to me like something that the Iron Dome was doing.
Monitoring that video, it was curious because we only saw it come in for a moment. We're watching behind the scenes in case that video gets fed back to us. But we're going to leave it there for now. We appreciate your insight today.
There's not
Take
an
care.
update on CNN there.
You're welcome. Take care.
All right. Let's slide away real quick. We are going to continue on with our coverage. We're going to take a very quick commercial break. More on this developing situation in 2 minutes.
Okay, well, they're on a commercial break here. I want to talk about one thing regarding the Hales thing. And what I specifically wanted to talk about is I wanted to talk about the cease and desist that was allegedly sent to MLS Law regarding this, apparently talking about him at all. And the idea that the cease and desist was sent actually came from DUI Guy Plus on Twitter. And we're gonna, at some point, we're gonna break down so much of what he said. But I had permission from MLS to share some of what the two of us talked about. And so I'm gonna do that here. It's kind of a and I want to share this in relation to the cease and desist order. So we're going to talk a little bit about cease and desist orders, kind of what they are and how they work. And as you can see here, this is MLS's message to me. I was like, I asked him if he was ever going to cover the case anymore. He never specifically answered that question. That's fine. He doesn't have to. I asked about, is his alleged cease or deceased? I was like, sorry if I spelled that wrong. I think I probably did. Yeah, he did it basically the same way that I did it. He put dashes in between the C's and the cyst, and I did not. But okay, so I just spelled right. Cool. Yay for me. Anyway, moving along. Ask him if it's gonna prevent him from covering the case anymore. And what I'm referring to is he is in an ongoing legal battle with someone in Florida named Lynette. And he might actually be in the right, and Lynette might actually be in the wrong. I wanting to say that she is the one suing him, and she seems a little lippy. There are other channels covering it, specifically what was wanting to say uncivil. It's not uncivil. Why did I just forget his name? He does Maritime Monday. You know what? My brain and my ADHD will kick in, and we'll think about what that name is in a minute. But there are other channels that you can go, and what they've been doing is they've been covering the court appearances themselves, and it's been wild. And when it comes to that sort of thing, I'm not exactly on Lynette's side here, but I am on the side of MLS when it comes to this issue that he's having with the copyrights. But as I said, I want to talk most specifically here about this cease and desist order that DUI claimed after talking to Jeremy. And this is another important thing. Ooh, DUI guy. You talked to Jeremy. You just took Jeremy's word for it all. You never bothered to talk to MLS and get his side over literally anything. But as you can see here, he says there is no cease and desist. Interesting. Oh, really? Why am I not surprised? We're not surprised. As Biden would say, we're not surprised. He did send me an email when I posted the first video asking me to take it down and not contact him anymore. But that's not really a cease and desist. That's only the communication I've received from him. So let's talk a little bit about what a cease and desist letter is. Okay. A cease and desist letter is a cautionary letter sent to an alleged wrongdoer describing the alleged misconduct and demanding that the alleged misconduct is stopped. A cease and desist letter provided notice that legal action may and will be taken if the conduct in question continues. Such letters are usually written by attorneys and are often sent to stop alleged or actual infringement of intellectual property rights, such as copyrights, trademarks, and patents. A cease and desist letter may be used to warn the wrongdoer against harassment, slander, libel, as well as contractual violations. Even though a cease and desist letter is a non-binding letter, it does not have a legal effect. It is primarily sent to the wrongdoer so that it may be used as evidence in litigation against the wrongdoer if the alleged misconduct does not stop. I warned them, and they did it anyway. But here's the thing: is it's not something that you necessarily have to have a lawyer pull up for you. As you can see here, one of the things that they're advertising here, free cover letter template. Yeah. You can get a cease and desist letter template. And let's go ahead and Google that. Cease and desist letter template. In fact, we have something here called Rocket Lawyer. Let's do this. Oh, look at that. You need to tell someone to stop doing something, and that's where a cease and desist letter comes in. Use related documents. Uses that create a cease and desist letter sometimes need additional documents. Here are some others you might be interested. So there you go. Yeah, you can easily do it yourself, but chances are, you should contact a lawyer to make sure you even have grounds to send the person a cease and desist letter. And if the person doing it, if they didn't even have the money to hire a lawyer to draft a cease and desist letter, I'm not a lawyer myself, but that may be something that you want to keep in mind when you consider how serious it is that you want to take this. All right, because if they don't have the ability to send that to you, then that's a problem. Okay? And so yeah. You have to realize that there's a good chance that they do not have the money to send you, the money to sue you. Okay. So the name that I was trying to think of earlier was Legal Vices. Legal Vices has been covering all the different court proceedings, and so far in everything that I have seen, they appear to be in the right when it comes to this. They have this they've had a judge that has made crazy, that has acted crazy and erratically. The woman that they're dealing with does not appear to be stable. And it appears that I really want them to win against Lynette. However, when it comes to false copyright striking, and even going as far to lie about what DUI guy, I do not understand. Why would you not verify? Why would you not verify that an actual cease and desist letter had never been sent? Like, why would you do that? Does that make sense to any of you? Instead, he just took it for granted. And, LawTube is kind of an interesting thing. Sometimes you have people that they kind of, at least kind of the people that are, if you cover legal stuff on YouTube, you're kind of considered LawTube or LawTube adjacent. It's a type of subject matter that you stream on. You usually are streaming on legal issues if you use the term LawTube. A lot of people don't like that, but it's kind of like do it yourself. DIY YouTube. It's like crafting YouTube. If you're LawTube, it just kind of sums up the general theme of your channel. Anyway, they're kind of interesting because sometimes they don't all quite agree on the same things. But sometimes they kind of do. And there is very much a lot of support for MLS and YouTube not taking down his channel because of what the Hales copyright strikes. And sometimes you can try to appeal these things and they don't always work. But he's already started his own channel, a new channel, and he's getting that backed up. He has apparently all of the, or at least most of the content that he posts that he still has that available, and he's getting that reposted on his channel. But it's really sad for me to see DUI guy put himself at odds once again with the rest of with the majority of the LawTube community. This is the second time he has attacked another lawyer as somehow being unethical. And I believe MLS is a lawyer. I don't know what he practices exactly. He calls himself the Law of God, and what does he do? Legos, Law of God and Legos, I think is what he has nicknamed himself, because he has regular streams where they do Lego builds, and that's and they interview the person and they just chat about different stuff while they're doing various Lego builds. So, but yeah, he has in the past attacked Andrea Burkhart and assailed her integrity by saying that there was something in the Johnny Depp case that she was trying to hide from everyone because she has a difference of opinion maybe in some of the decisions that Johnny's lawyers made, that she felt that there are some things that just didn't make sense. And somehow or another, She had a lot of documents that she arranged to be made public, and for whatever reason, the DUI guy has tried to accuse her of hiding something, and it just makes no damn sense. She hasn't been deliberately trying to hide anything. But he has not retracted any of it, and I just think that that's just awful. And so now he's doing it again with MLS. And so MLS sent me some information, and I'm going to do a separate video where we break down what exactly he's accused of doing, where he got the information for his video, and why it probably falls under fair use. For example, like what I'm doing now, none of these feeds are my feeds, but I have provided some. I did provide at the very beginning of my podcast. I provided some commentary on this, and I've changed it. I'm not doing just one. I'm doing multiples, and I've been talking about them, and I've been talking over them. And I'm not just using them devoid of any context. And a lot of times, even like one of these is from Reuters. From Reuters. No, it's from the Times and the Sunday Times. Chances are, as big as the Times is, they are not going to copyright strike me for showing it this. They might claim the video and they might get some information from it. But they're not. Their chances are they're not going to order my stream get taken down. Chances are, even this other thing here, in my experience, Live Now from Fox does not copyright strike you when you're using their feeds. I could possibly have to be a little bit careful of SGN. They might get touchy. But 9 times out of 10, stuff like that is just not an issue. And so that's why we got going on here. Where's this from? This must be from them. Yeah. So even though they've closed the skies in Israel, we are hearing what sounds like an airplane. Jordanian has sent down. So
shooting dozens of Iranian drones flying really across northern and central Jordan, heading to Israel, which is two regional security sources that are telling that to Reuters. So my question for you, Michael, how do Jordanian military officials work in tandem with entities
on the ability to take other things that are posted on YouTube or on CNN and editorialize it? They rely on that quite a bit. And so it can be frustrating when people want to get bitchy because they don't like the way that you did it. It's interesting that they're having problems with their feed. And copyright striking for you. It's very annoying.
Special forces are some of the best in the Middle East. Jordanian intelligence often tells the U.S. what groups like ISIS and Al-Qaeda are doing inside of Syria. So the Jordanian military is very
Jordanian,
and we have to look at
military
that, look
really
at the map, right? Your audience wants to look at a map of the region. Every drone, every rocket and missile that Iran would launch would have to go over Jordanian airspace. Iranian drones, cruise missiles, and missiles have a high failure rate. Jordan has the largest Palestinian population in the Middle East. Netanyahu calls it a Palestinian state. the Palestinians are more at risk in Jordan of being hit by an Iranian drone, missile, or cruise missile than Israelis are in Israel. That's why you see Jordan taking out these drones, because they are more at risk than Israel is for one of these drones to hit them. Because again, Israel is right at the end of their flight capabilities, the distance, and again, they fall short of their targets all the time. The Ukrainian military says that the Iranian drones have about a 50% failure rate. They'll either fall short of their target or they'll fail in flight. So Jordanians are at risk. So I'm glad to hear that the Jordanian Air Force is out there shooting these things down. They're not hard to shoot down. And I think it's by design that Iran said, hey, we've launched an attack. Now you can shoot all these things down because they're easy to shoot down. The problem is an accidental killing of Palestinians inside of Jordan, or if one of these drones unfortunately gets through Israeli airspace and kills a civilian. But I think Israel has basically defeated the threat at this point. It's now up to the Jordanians to shoot down a lot of these drones.
So I'm going to pull up another tweet here. This one from President Biden just moments ago, saying he just met with his national security team. And it's tough to make out exactly what we're looking at, but we are seeing what I would describe as a number of objects that look like shooting stars in the night sky. I'll ask our producers, Victoria and Caleb, if we have a location on where this camera is positioned, because we are seeing, I believe this is southern Israel, where this is. Say again? So we're working behind the scenes to figure out what part of Israel this is looking at, but it is looking at the Israeli skyline. That's what our affiliate partners are telling us right now. And Michael, I'll describe the scene for you because I don't believe you're able to watch our videos right now. But what we are seeing looks to me like a number of objects flying through the sky, very bright objects, and there is a number of them. They have smoke and fire trailing from them. Could this be the actual arrival of these drones? Or could this actually be some sort of interception technology, the Iron Dome, perhaps?
Yeah, it could be both. If they are drones, they're the 238s, the Shahad 238 drone. That's the jet-fueled one. That's the one with the tail. That's the one you can see flying through the sky. So that's what they would be if it was an attack capability going towards Israel. Or again, it could be Israel's multi-layered, multi-tiered air defense system reacting to threats. Yesterday we saw Hezbollah launch 40 rockets towards Israel. They were timed, they were spaced, they were 2 at a time. 40 out of 40 were taken out. And this, to me, I'm looking at a picture now on my phone. This, to me, looks like something that Israel can easily defeat, and it's not overwhelming their air defense systems.
So we're watching this video and we're getting a little more clarity now. This is not live footage that we're showing on our screen right now. This is taped playback that our affiliates are sharing with us. We're watching it, and there we go. We just lost the feed from Reuters. But what we were watching really did that look to you like some sort of defense? Or did that look like actual artillery offensive coming toward Israel?
Based on what you're describing, it sounds like one of their jet-fueled drones.
Yeah.
The Shahad 238.
Yeah.
It's an Iran-based attack. I mean, it could be that Hezbollah launches a couple rockets and missiles as a show of force as well that are easily intercepted, or it could be another proxy from Iraq or Syria doing something. But that would be my take.
So
it's not a cruise missile. It's not a cruise missile or a ballistic missile, because they're faster than that.
Michael, we can't thank you enough for your analysis. We will be talking soon. Take care.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, so we're going to keep on with this story here. We have more analysts, more experts standing by. This situation developing in real time. Right now, you're looking at a live image of Tel Aviv. We just had some of that video showing what appeared to be some sort of artillery flying through the skies above Israel. I'll take this opportunity while we're sitting here to just read the latest on what we know so far, because this is a fluid situation. I'm going to read.
I don't really care
a little bit
for
of
the
what we're
fact
hearing
that
from our affiliates
we have anyone
at the Associated Press
shooting
and at Fox
things
News.
down.
For now, what we're reading is that
From our
Iran
side,
launched
because
drones from its own
I don't really
territory
want us
toward
involved in that
Israel late
war.
on
But
Saturday,
here we go.
just days
Shooting
after
shit down
its
for 'em.
supreme leader warned it would hit back in response to an airstrike on the Iranian consulate in Syria that left several generals dead. Hours later, Iran's state-run IRNA news agency said that Iran had launched ballistic missiles, quoting an anonymous official who said that they were part of the attack. Already, slow-moving bomb-carrying drones have been seen in the skies over Iran. However, those are more easily shot down, according to Fox News Digital. Fox News Digital says that a ballistic missile moves on an arch trajectory, heading up into space before gravity brings the weapon down at a speed several times faster than the speed of sound. Israel has missile defense systems capable of targeting ballistic missiles. However, Fox News Digital says in a massive attack involving multiple drones and missiles, like the campaign launched late Saturday by Iran, the likelihood of a strike making it through is higher. Earlier on Saturday, and I will say that it is early Sunday morning, Israel time right now. We are just past midnight. Earlier Saturday, Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that Israel had, for weeks, quote, been preparing for the possibility of a direct attack from Iran. I'll personally just underscore here the word direct, because that's something that we've been talking about with our analysts all day today, is the fact that this is not coming from Iran's proxies like we've been used to seeing since October 7th. This one is coming from Iran proper. Some would call this a significant escalation in this fight. Israel does have missile defense systems capable of targeting ballistic missiles. However, Fox News Digital says, and you know what, I will actually reiterate here that all of this is happening in response to that attack in Damascus that killed an Iranian general. Israel has still not directly claimed responsibility for that attack, but most of our analysts agree that more than likely Israel would be the only entity capable of such an attack in that region. We are going to stick with the story. We have to take a quick commercial break. We're back in 2 minutes.
No, and this time it's not unusual for me to act. You oftentimes have to get things like that muted in time because they play music and the automatic copyright system is like, hey, don't do that. So what we're kind of seeing right now is kind of what I suspected. I mean, anytime, this happens, the government, the Israeli government has to take it seriously. They can't just ignore it. There's things that they have to do to prepare. But I had kind of a feeling that, they pretty much had to do something, are doing something because they had to do something. They couldn't, they didn't want to appear weak by not responding to the fact that that Israel had launched an attack on sensitive location in Damascus, whatever it was. They couldn't just ignore what Israel had done. But a lot of these countries, it's like the Iron Dome is pretty remarkable. And if they really had done something, they really wanted to do something, they would have done something that was much more of a sneak attack. Honestly, they should have had one of their proxies do suicide bomb, something. They needed to do something more than just drones that could get easily shot down, either by Jordan or another country they might have to hostile, or U.S. security forces in the area. That was just kind of really kind of pointless in a way. I mean, I hate to say it, but yeah, it was that was kind of pointless. When all they have to do is do that. I mean, I don't really know how much of those things can really stand up against the Iron Dome. Yeah. But you heard the commentator say that these are pretty easily shot down. They're suicide drones. Being suicide drone may even mean that they're not actually. I don't know. They could be armed. Not saying they're not, but they don't just drop a bomb and then leave. They actually crash into something. So that's interesting. It looks like that this isn't. I mean, it looks like there definitely isn't going to be any real damage done. I'll see if Reuters has another. Here's another live feed from Reuters. I think I'm going to go ahead and put that up here. Just slightly different angle. I'm wanting to replace that, and I'm not sure I know which it is. I'm thinking it's that one. I hope it's that one. Nope, I didn't have that right. Shit. Okay. There we go. And I want to go ahead and get another live view so we don't just have the same thing. Well, here's something from the sun that looks interesting, so let's grab that. I know I want to keep this one because this one we had sound from. When they're when there was some sort of plane or something that went overhead, we heard it. So I'm wondering, is this more or less the same shot? I'm wondering if it's just like the same shot. It's just cropped in. No, it's higher. No, it's at a different elevation even, I think. So there's one new update. So Israeli air defense have intercepted some Iranian drones after Iran launched a barrage of missiles towards Israel Saturday in retaliation for an Israeli strike on the Iranian consulate in Damascus earlier this month. A Syrian team is hearing explosion sirens as intercepts occur over Jerusalem. There is also reports of explosions. I really do hate the idea. Oh no. Look at this. A 10-year-old boy was severely injured by shrapnel from interceptor missiles during Iran's attack, according to Israel. The boy was injured in the Negev region of southern Israel by shrapnel from an interceptor missile that was launched to intercept an Iranian projectile. A spokesperson for Israel's MDA, Israel's Megan David Adam, emergency service, told CNN affiliate Israeli Public Prosecutor Channel 11. The boy suffered a head injury and was unconscious. The MDA said in a late statement he was taken to the hospital for the treatment. The MDA had previously said there had been no reports of injuries suffered directly through the Iranian strikes. So that's not good. That's not good. Let's find out what this update is. Germany's foreign minister says Iran attacks puts entire region at risk of plunging into chaos. They're continuing to beat the drums of war and want you to know how incredibly serious this is. Even though, what have we seen here? That, yes, unfortunately, one child has been injured by shrapnel. But, you heard the commenter talking about how easily shot down these drones are. And that you've got Jordan shooting things down, you've got the US shooting things down, and then you've got the Iron Dome defense for anything that Jordan or the US may miss. Because when you're launching over 100 of them, I mean, you're gonna miss some things. I got a cough here, hold on. And so I'm gonna kind of be a little bit of an inevitable that you're gonna miss some. But I want to go to Twitter, and I want to see what Twitter is claiming. I'm in the OSINT. I follow this OSINT thing. There's talk about how Biden is meeting with the national security team. There's a video making its rounds that reportedly show. There's a part of me that wonders whether or not I even want to show this. Because this may not be. This may be old and it may not be. It's hard to say. But this is making its rounds in the OSINT. Supposedly the airport has been struck. Six minutes ago, it was reported that launched an additional 70 missiles. Israel bringing the total number to 150. That's from ABC News, apparently. Aurora Intel is. I'm making an assumption that the impasse that they gave would have been targeting Nevatim Air Base, but no footage to confirm anything yet. This person trying to say the Israeli mirror has been destroyed. Yeah, probably not. Someone tried to say that those were drones. This person is saying that they are ballistic missile warheads. There appears to be a debate on what some of these are. I was thinking that there was a possibility that this was some old footage, but apparently it's new. It's usually if it gets old, it gets debombed right away. Oh. Iranian missiles UAVs were spotted flying over Al Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem tonight, supposedly. I mean, it's very possible that that's legit. And of course, Israel is saying there will be a significant response against Iran for this attack. So there's, we're just gonna keep constantly seeing just the typical tit for tat. Let's go back to this multi-view here and see if there's anything that we're missing. And it's not unusual. We see this all the time when it comes to conflicts in the Middle East. This is just it's business as usual. There's conflicts. I mean, I hate to diminish the seriousness of it, but everyone's general reaction is to completely just freak out when there may not be as much reason to freak out as what you think there is. And it's not even really looking like unless we actually see something or hear something like we did briefly earlier on screen. I don't know how much there is going to be to even report. So supposedly explosion in the sky. Oh, look, here we go. Okay, now we've got something. Oh, I didn't realize that we were missing out on sound here. Fuck. Let's see if we can go back to what they were showing us. I'm thinking that's probably the Israeli Air Force. But we're gonna keep an eye on that because apparently they have sound here. And I did not realize that. Sorry, people. There is a possibility that you will hear the birds outside my apartment. Oh, now we got here. Sometimes it can be nice when you don't have a camera that's just stationary. And nobody controlling it. Is that a boom? The cat's like, pay attention to me. He's been out the window looking at the birds. He's probably going, Mom, I can hear them and I can see them, but I can't get them. It's really interesting that we appear to just have very you know, normal noises right now. You can hear what sounds like the tide, some waves, whatever. And then you might be hearing outside my window, you might be hearing the birds. There's a horn honking on the video. Let's see what Twitter is saying. Journalist Michael Shemesh. It's a con journalist is what he's being called. Kann. He's reported that some Iranian cruise missiles are still headed towards Israeli airspace. I'm gonna see what else is there because I mean, we don't really see a whole lot of. For some reason, we're seeing a whole lot of nothing on all of these. So I'm gonna see what else there might be on YouTube. Iran's foreign ministry says attack on Israel self-defense after Damascus strike. Iran's foreign ministry said the country has responded to what it called the aggressive act of the Zionist regime against the Iranian embassy in Damascus. In a statement released to Telegram, the ministry said Iran's armed forces were exercising the inherent right of self-defense stipulated in Article 5 of the United Nations Charter, and in response to the repeated military aggressions of the Zionist regime and the martyrdom of the official military advisors of Iran who were working in the country at the invitation of the Syrian government, and especially in response to the attack on Iran's consulate in Damascus earlier this month. The Islamic Republic of Iran's recourse to defensive measures is an exercise. The right of self-defense shows Iran's responsible approach to regional and international peace and security at a time when the illegal and genocidal actions by the Zionist apartheid regime against the Palestinian nation and the regime's repeated military aggression. The ministry's statement included, if necessary, the Islamic Republic of Iran will not hesitate to take more defensive measures to protect the legitimate interests against any aggressive military actions and illegal use of force. Israel did not confirm it carried out the attack in Damascus on April 1st, but denied claims that the building it hit was a consulate, saying it was a military building of Quds forces. Quds. Interesting. Okay. U.S. forces do not appear to have been targeted by the Iran's attack, official says. So that's good. None of our people have been targeted, but apparently they have had a hand in helping to prevent those drones, because we did see that they have shot some things down. Rooster's just doing its thing. Rooster's like, missiles? What missiles? have heard a motorcycle outside my window. I honestly don't know how much longer I'm gonna continue to show this because, I mean, got a new update from CNN. Oh, wait a minute. Latin American countries, Tarians attack on Israel? Do any of these places care what Argentina and Ecuador think? I doubt it. But I mean, sure. If the U.S. is gonna comment in on it, you might as well stick your noses in it too. What countries do? Of course, the UN is gonna condemn it as well. That crowing is so funny. Just, you know, life is just going on as normal. Well, we've now been going for about an hour and a half, and I mean, this is kind of all the more we're gonna see. There's not really much stream on it. Need to step away for just a minute.
Our security is saying not to move for the next 30 minutes because they're expecting another one.
Lots of vehicles outside my apartment tonight. But look at this. Warriors even said, this is boring. Boring.
Brittany is saying that the Iranians are over.
Yeah, we just got your typical condemnations of everything that's happening. How dare Iran respond to the attack on Damascus? Like, chances are, y'all, that's exactly what's gonna happen. Like, they're gonna respond. And I don't know why you're expecting anything different. Let's see if there's anything here that I can replace that with. I haven't really found anything yet. I'm gonna try to look for one thing. Here's something that can be kind of helpful and interesting. It's Rockets Alerts Live. That I believe will allow me to embed it. Let's see. Well, that wasn't what I wanted to embed, but okay. This is the thing that I get frustrated with here, is trying to remember what is what. Damn it. Because it gives me this anonymous thing that I don't remember, that you forget. You forget which is what you wanted. Okay. Let's see. And it changes it all the freaking time. All the freaking time. Oh, it's not what I wanted. Alright, we're just gonna restart everything all over again. That's the only thing I hate about using this particular website. I hate trying to keep everything organized. Because the type of ADHD brain that I have can't do it. Just can't. Alright, we're gonna leave it like this for a little while. You can see rocket alerts. We've got 2 different views. I couldn't find anything that has sound. I'll be back to check out these in a little bit. I've even seen some reports right now that Israelis are being told that they do not have to stay near bomb shelters. Let's see what this latest update is here from CNN. Oh, Saudi Arabia is calling for restraint. That's nice of you. Residents report seeing flash in the sky over Jordanian capital. Spain and Portugal call for de-escalation. Iran Revolutionary Guard warns U.S. any act against Iran will see reciprocal response. More drones? I mean, Israel has intercepted a vast majority of Iran's strikes. And that kind of matches up with what we were hearing, is that these drones are very easy to take out. So if it's true, if I am hearing more reports on other channels that are doing coverage that they're not even being told to stay near bomb shelters anymore, then I'm definitely not going to be streaming much longer, but we're going to see what happens.
To drawing down troop levels.
All right, I have Agenda TV playing on my phone. He covers a lot of different things, and he covers multiple sources at once. Israelis are no longer being told to stay close to their bomb shelters. It's kind of looking like the immediate danger is over. I mean, sadly, there was one 10-year-old. It was injured and had to be taken to the hospital. Was unconscious. No word on his condition from what I can see. And while that is unfortunate, this kind of played out the way that I was thinking that it was going to. Iran had to give some kind of response. They couldn't allow it to go unchallenged. They didn't want to appear weak. But the fact of the matter is they can't really do much more than what they did. They don't appear to have quite the ability, and they don't want to. They want to minimize creating a much bigger conflict, and that's what would have happened if they did something more than what they did. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna wrap it up here. I may try to do another separate video that I'll load up later, or I might see how well I can edit that one out about the Hales thing. But thanks for joining us. God bless you all. God bless the United States. And remember, you may feel tiny and you may feel small, but it takes all of us in this great big wide universe to make the world a better place. And even though the universe may be big and you and I are small in compared to that universe, we all have a role to play and we all can make a difference. Right? So be kind to yourself and be encouraged. God bless.